All right, Raider Nation. I didn't want to start this post-game review off with negativity, but I'm pissed off. This was our game. I'll talk about the players that played good and what I saw from the team after I have my frickin' rant. The Raiders took the lead 23-21. Then the game was pretty much in hand with about a minute and 45 seconds left, and the Vikings had the ball. But before that series, Bradley Carter was not allowed to throw the ball. They wanted to waste the clock to win 23-21. So Bradley Carter and the Raiders kept running the ball, and the Vikings kept calling timeouts. And we were in our 20-yard line. They ran the ball 3 times. Vikings called timeouts to get the ball back. Then our punter kicked the ball, and he only kicked it to their 40 with a minute and 38 seconds left, or a minute and 40. Now the Vikings have a chance to get a decent drive, but with no timeouts and with a 4th-string quarterback against our Raiders defense that was playing good, the 4th-string defense at the end of the game. Now this is where I don't understand if Antonio Pierce or whoever lost us the game. The Vikings get the ball back with a minute and 40 left. No timeouts at their 40 or 41. And they technically need to get to the 35 to get in field goal range with a rookie quarterback. And they made a couple of plays. They moved the ball down the field a little bit. They were toward their 50. Then it was 3rd down. Raiders call a timeout. Why not let the clock continue to run? There was about 50 seconds left at this point in time. They had no timeouts. They had a 3rd down. Let the play continue and let their rookie quarterback try to battle the clock in a tough environment to get another 10 or 12 yards to kick a field goal. But the Raiders and Antonio Pierce or whoever called the timeout. Now they regrouped, made a play call, got a 1st down. Raiders call another timeout. They're now at the 42 or 43-yard line in field goal range. Raiders call another timeout. Why? Let them manipulate the clock and have to run the field goal team on, go for a long field goal, or whatever. Raiders call a timeout. Then I started thinking, well, maybe the Raiders want to get the ball back. You know, they know they're already probably going to kick a field goal, so the Raiders are trying to save clock to get the ball back. To give Bradley Carter a chance. But you wouldn't let him pass the ball on the previous downs for any reason. Why are you trying to get the ball back? Are you resting the defense because they're tired? Minnesota would have had to battle the clock with a rookie quarterback and make all the right plays and still have to make a probably 50-yard field goal. But we called a 2nd timeout. Now they ran another play, gained another few yards. Now they're at the 35 or 30. I don't know. We call a 3rd timeout with 30 seconds left, 28 seconds left. They're already in field goal range. Why not then let them still battle the clock? But we call a 3rd timeout. What were the Raiders doing? Did Antonio Pierce lose us this game? I mean, technically, they probably would have made a 45, 50-yard field goal regardless with their kicker and won the game 24-23. But we called timeouts and let them creep up and gain yardage and manage the clock correctly instead of putting pressure on their young quarterback and their young kicker. I don't know. I'm a little pissed off about it. I don't know what the hell happened. Did Antonio Pierce lose us the game? Something might have went wrong, and we might have ended up winning. But whatever, I'm going to leave that for another day. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mikey Raider. This is the post-game review of the Raiders versus the Minnesota Vikings. Raiders lose in my opinion, a heartbreaker and a very, I don't understand the loss. Yeah, 24-23 versus the Vikings. This was an interesting game. We talked about it a little bit last night coming into this game, as J.J. McCarthy called the Raiders defense vanilla in the press conference leading up to this game. We wanted to find out who was going to play in this game, who was going to start, which quarterback, Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew, was going to come out on top or get the edge. And that was the media storyline coming into this game. And what had happened was Aiden O'Connell got the start. He took the first quarter of the game, played decently, looked very poised, stalled in the red zone, but we pulled out on top, and we were able to take the lead. And Aiden O'Connell looked pretty poised and decent on many plays, but he took a real big sack at goal line by holding on to the ball a little bit too long. But long story short, the Raiders were controlling the game in the first quarter for the most part. And our defense, we played our starting defense at least the first quarter and a half, and they were playing bend, don't break. They bent, got Minnesota on their first drive into the red zone, into the goal line area, but they couldn't convert. Raiders had the lead right after that, and we were looking good. Then Gardner Minshew comes in and drove the team down the field with some big passes to Trey Tucker and tight ends. And the tight ends were being used by Aiden O'Connell a lot more than Minshew. But our wide receivers and our tight ends in this new offense by Luke Getsy was all over the field in various places, and I liked what I saw from them in 12 personnel. We have an explosive offense. We do. Our O-line played pretty decent. And our running backs, at least Juice White, probably still averaged 4.1 yards a carry in today's game, with probably only carrying the ball 6 times for like 24 yards or something like that. But Trey Tucker, Gardner Minshew had a chemistry. Gardner came down and drove us down the field in like 3 or 4 plays and had a big touchdown to Jacoby Myers or Trey Tucker, I forget which one, but it looked smooth. Aiden O'Connell's drives took a lot longer, and they were like more short yardage, little plays here, a big first down here with Brock Bowers or Michael Mayer, and a little more, and it took more time off the clock. So Aiden O'Connell didn't get that many reps, but Gardner Minshew came in and he created Minshew mania, in my opinion, early on. He used his legs. He drove the team down the field very quickly. So that allowed him to play more and get more reps, because Aiden O'Connell's drives took longer. And then, our defense was on the field more of that time. So long story short, I believe Gardner Minshew had more opportunities to take reps in the game because we kept driving down the field and he kept getting reps. So he kept coming back onto the field, to where our defense and other things were struggling with Minnesota with Aiden O'Connell, and his drives were very slow. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out the final numbers. But in my opinion, the edge goes to Gardner Minshew, because I believe in this offense, which looked really decent in today's game. I mean, we scored 20 points in the first half. We couldn't even do that in the first half of any regular season game last year. So already in a preseason game, it's only preseason, Mikey Raider. Relax. Shut the F up and relax. It looked good. It looked good. I thought we were going to stall. I predicted a low-scoring game. But hey, was it the Raiders' offense look better or the Vikings' defense look bad? You be the judge of that. But I say the offense looked really decent. They were all over the field and all that other stuff. Now, a player that we were all wanting to watch as well, in my opinion, was Jack Jones. Antonio Pierce called him out in a press conference about a week ago, saying he's dropped a lot of balls. And if he doesn't make those plays, he's not going to be the starter or the star on this team. And ever since then, Jack Jones tore it up in camp. And then he had a big interception in this week's game against J.J. McCarthy, who said our defense was going to look vanilla. In the second half of the game, J.J. McCarthy's words came true because our backup defensive line and players were struggling. J.J. McCarthy made some big plays against our backups. Again, when he played our first-string defense, he didn't do so good. But still, his words came true, so he cashed it in. Plus, they got a victory. I don't like that, Raider Nation. I don't like that. That pisses me the F off. That's why I'm still questioning Antonio Pierce in these timeouts. But hey, I got to let it go. I don't ever want to say the word loss or lose again this season, Antonio. I know that's too much to dream for, but I'm going to try. But the Raiders' backup defense gave up some big plays to J.J. McCarthy. They ended up coming back in the game and taking the lead. And then we had a good opportunity to check out Anthony Brown, the third-string quarterback who came in. He's a big athletic quarterback, can make some plays on the field in Lamar Jackson fashion. He did play for the Ravens, but he looked unprepared. The Vikings' backup defense was scaring him. He looked nervous early on. But finally, at the end of the third quarter, toward the beginning of the fourth quarter, he settled down. The coaches started giving him RPOs and play action, play calling. And they started running the ball with Spencer McCormick and all that. And it looked decent, and they calmed down, and they were able to get a field goal to take the lead again, to retake the lead 23-21 after the McCarthy 2 touchdowns in a row. And then we all know what happened at the end of the game, as I just explained in the beginning of this video, so we don't need to go back to it. So the standout players, Brock Bowers looked nice. Michael Mayer looked nice. But it's got to be Trey Tucker. He had some big pass plays with Gardner Minshew. They had a chemistry. I think Gardner Minshew and speedy wide receivers are going to do well in this offense. Devontae Adams, I didn't see him on the field. I don't think he played. Jacoby Myers had some nice plays. Zeus White had some nice runs, probably averaged 4 yards a carry. And it was really nice to see that stuff happen. Like I said, I believe Gardner Minshew edged out O'Connell, but O'Connell started this week in the first quarter. I believe the next game, Minshew will get the first quarter, and Aiden O'Connell will get the second quarter, and it'll probably be the same quota that they did this week. Jack Jones looked nice on defense. They were making some big plays. But our young defense, our second, third stringers, whatever they were, they needed to tighten up, and they just fell short. That being said, I'm sure you guys saw some different players that played good or bad, or you guys might have seen different things than I did. But I was like shopping for food and doing a bunch of other things while I was trying to watch the game. Plus, if you guys want to check out the timeline on my X or my Twitter, I tried to every time the Raiders did something big, I tried to put out a tweet that kind of explained what was happening. And I think you guys will appreciate that in future days. So check out my Twitter, become a fan. It's at Mikey Raider on Twitter or X. And that being said, I'm going to have to give the MVP this game to, I thought it would have been Brock Bowers, but we possibly got an injury to Harrison Bryant, our tight end. So, I mean, I hope he's okay, but he left the game with a big hit. And, but you can see this offense is going to use a lot of tight ends and a lot of running plays and hopefully more play action. I don't remember that much play action with Aiden O'Connell. I don't remember that much play action with Gardner Minshew. I'm going to have to watch the game again. But again, I think Gardner Minshew edged it out a little bit in this game. But I'm going to give the MVP to Trey Tucker. I mean, that dude was balling. He seemed to be open all the time. And if he can come into his own and add a speedy wide receiver, whether it be for Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew, like the way he showed in this game, getting open, flying around the field, that's just going to help out Devontae, Jacoby even more down the middle and the tight ends. I mean, that's the X factor, is Trey Tucker this season. That's the X factor for this offense. It could be Brock Bowers, any of the tight ends. But again, they're all going to play good. You need that X factor that nobody really thinks about, and that speedy wide receiver in the Al Davis legacy lore. So I give the MVP to Trey Tucker. On defense, I'm going to give the MVP to Jack Jones. Because I really liked him getting a big interception in the game to shut up J.J. McCarthy. Even though J.J. McCarthy won in the end, Jack Jones is being a true Raider and shut him up. And he made plays. Antonio Pierce is giving him tough love. But he's coming into his own. And I'm really proud to see that. I think we're going to have a top 10 defense this year. But for now, that's what I thought of today's game. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did Antonio Pierce lose us the game with the timeouts? Who called the timeouts? Who ordered the code red timeouts? I would have rather the damn Vikings try to continue the drive and battle the clock. And you never know. We might have pulled the game out somehow. But hey, did Antonio Pierce really lose us the game? Technically, no. But I liked Luke Getsey's offense. And I like what I saw from these Raiders. I mean, we scored 23 points in a preseason game. And it looked pretty explosive with our starters at times. It's a good sign, Raider Nation. All right, check out my other video clips on this channel. I did a Raider football talk last night. Check out the full video on the page. Clips will be coming out. Become a member of the channel. Support your boy. I appreciate you. I love you. More videos ahead. And again, let me know your thoughts on today's game and how mad you are. And we're never going to say the word loss again. And whenever we win, y'all are going to get a rap in my post-game reviews. We didn't get a win today, so I ain't going to rap. Raiders never say lose.